Hello everyone, my name is Alessandro and this is the Temple of Surf, the podcast. We'll give you full access to the best surfers, skaters, shapers, surfboard collectors, shop owners in the world. Discover with me their stories, the greatest successes, amazing behind the scenes, and much more. Hello everyone and welcome to the 11th episode of the Temple of Surf, the podcast. I just wanted to thank you for the amazing number of you that listen to our episodes every week. It's so energizing and motivating. Thank you. Today with us is Stu Kenson, legendary shaper from San Diego. Let's discover more about him, his future projects, and much more. Hi Stu and welcome to the show. Where are you today?
Doing well. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I am at work. I just pulled up to my shaping bay. I had some errands to run this morning, and it's time to get busy.
How is San Diego nowadays? You know, the shops started to reopen. Everything is going back to normality?
Not quite yet. What they are doing with some shops are still closed. Some of the bigger shops have all the regulations in place as far as how many people can be in the store and, wearing protective masks, etc. So everybody's still trying to feel it out and, go day by day as to what's happening.
Yeah, I hope everything is going to get back to normality soon, or a new normality,
Yeah.
but at least people can go out and have fun and paying attention, of course, but go back to life a little bit. So let's hope for that. Today we're going to talk about surfboards, of course, shaping surfboards. But the first question that I have for you is, what is, in your opinion, the most important thing in surfing?
In surfing, I would say my feelings on it are that it is a very important part of our lives, especially those of us that have surfed for quite some time. Myself, I started surfing in 1969, and I was completely drawn to it, and it definitely shaped my life for very good, reasons. I think it's great for a myriad of reasons: stress relief, physical fitness, and activity. It will, in my place, in my way, it's a 24-hour-a-day thing. I'm constantly, if I can't get in the water, I'm thinking about it, or I'm thinking about boards I'm shaping and designs especially.
Yeah, it's not a work at all. It's just like a passion that ended up being also your main occupation, right? 24/7
Absolutely,
surf.
yeah. If you want to look at it as a job, I have the best job in the world.
I guess so.
And I also feel very, very lucky and blessed at this stage of my career that I can do, what I like to do. But it's to call it a job is very tough.
Yeah. As long it's you have pleasure in doing it, any job can be the best job, right? According to what we really like in life. Do you remember your first surfboard?
Yes, I do.
What was that?
It was a Greek Maui model by Surfboards by the Greek out of Huntington Beach.
Okay.
And it was a triple stringer, yellow tint pintail longboard. Very heavy, probably 25, 26 pounds, somewhere in there. And that's what I learned on. And my next board immediately after was David Nueva, kind of mid-length, single fin. And those were my primary boards.
And you still have those boards with you, or?
No. I wish I had the Maui model, because it would be worth something. The Nueva lasted about 2 weeks, and we were coming home from the beach in my friend's father's car, and the racks broke, and my board flew off on the highway and was destroyed.
Oh my God!
So
yeah.
I'll never forget that one.
Let's hope for the first one to be maybe the Maui will be maybe come to the surface one day, right?
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Exactly. Do you collect surfboards, or I guess you see so many surfboards, but you like to collect as well?
No, I have some. I have some. I basically I collect boards that have meaning to me. I worked for Infinity Surfboards in 1976, and I rode Stings, the IPA style Stings.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to find one of those boards. I had it restored by a friend of mine. Beautiful tan opaque gloss polish. And I have that one. And then most of the other boards I collect are from my friends, other shapers that I really respect. So I've got a little Starfish from Hank Warner.
Mm-hmm.
Hank and I work together. And then I have a couple boards from Skip Fry, which I'm very lucky to have. Skip works in the same complex that we do.
Oh my God, he's a legend. I love him. I'm very lucky to have one fish board of him in my collection, and he's like, wow, longboard fish.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was very unexpected to get the first one, and really stoked to get the second one also. They're both fishes. One's a smaller DH fish, and the other one's a kind of a little bit of a mid-length 7-1 bigger fish. And those things are really special. They live in board bags in my garage where they're nice and safe.
Amazing. Is there a particular surfboard that you carry with you, like in your collection, let's say, that has a very special meaning for you, that you consider above all the others?
I would have to say the Infinity Sting that I have, because that in its time that board was from 1975, 76 era. And it was, at the time we rode either, pretty much, like you didn't have a quiver of boards then. You had usually one board, that was for everything. So in my case, I rode boards that were like 7 foot, 7.2, 7.4, and that was my do everything board. The Stings came out. I went to Hawaii in 1975 for the U.S. Championships, and the level of surfing that the Hawaiians were doing on the IPA Stings was phenomenal. Like no one else could even play on the same playing field. They were that good. So that was a huge influence, and that was one of the reasons that I really, when I was able to find that Sting, and I looked for it for a while, that's why that one has a lot of special meaning to me.
Yeah. I just talked like 1 hour ago with Duke IPA. And he was telling me that the difference between North Shore and South Shore, between Lightning Bolt and IPA at that time, that were like the two greatest surfboard and actually culture, right? That they were in Hawaii in those years. So it was quite interesting to hear from him. And now today, he developed this collaboration between IPA and Lightning Bolt, right? So
yes, I've seen it.
He said like finally we put together the north and the south of Hawaii. So I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
When did you start shaping?
I shaped my first board in 1972. We had a mentor. He was a lifeguard, and he asked myself and some of my friends, hey, would you guys like to build a surfboard, for yourselves? So I think there were like 3 of us that did it. And it was really fun. We went there was a surf shop not too far away, about a 20-minute drive from where we lived. They sold, basically the materials. So you could buy a blank and fiberglass cloth, tint pigment or opaque pigment, because everything was those colors, in that period of time. It was before airbrushing, really. And showed us how to do everything. And it was a great experience, and it stayed with me, many, many, many years.
And that was like which year? 1970 something?
1972.
Wow.
So we shaped the boards, and I'm sure they were horrible, but at the time it was really exciting. And we laid up a panel for the fin because they were single fins, and that was really cool. That was a red tint fin that I put on that board, and we cut them out, and you'd glass them on, and then you would foil them on the board itself.
Wow,
which is pretty archaic, but that's the way it was done in that period of time.
So 48 years ago. So it's an impressive career. In your opinion, what was your greatest achievement? The one that you're the most proud of?
Well, there's been a lot of highlights. I have to say that I've had the opportunity to work with some very, very good surfers and continue to. I've worked with Joel Tudor personally for about 20, I think we're going on 26 years now.
Wow.
And I still make boards for him, mostly for North Shore, he and his son Tosh. And then I have a pretty good group of guys that I remain fairly quiet about that I make boards for up in Northern California that are Mavericks surfers. And I've got about 16, 18 guys up there that ride my boards up there. And that's kind of been my private deal. You know, I don't really, I don't talk about it too much. Just really exciting to work with, you know, athletes of that caliber. So those are probably the shining moments. I make boards for, you know, I mean, everybody from, you know, lower intermediates to pro level surfers. And I make all kinds of different stuff, from performance shortboards to the board I specialize in right now are my Twinsers. And I make those in performance style and eggs, mid-lengths, and they're extremely popular.
In your opinion, what is the key? What is key in shaping?
I would say your boards have to work. Okay, and sure. The theories behind, you know, what I like to do, they have to also work. So I don't believe in gimmicks. I do like to take things to the limit as far as design. And design of surfboards, I'm never static. I'm always thinking about what's the next thing I want to build. You know, or constant refinement is another way to look at it.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. Constant refinement is like, basically there is never like a perfect surfboard. You know, you can always improve some little things, right?
Yeah, it's almost, you could liken it to the aerodynamics on a car. You know, where you can come up with a design, a body design, and there's little tweaks you can make. And that's kind of the way that I look at it.
I guess in your career, you received a lot of requests from a lot of surfers, a lot of customers of surfboards. And was there a crazy, let's say, request that you particularly remember? Something that was unusual?
I got a request not that long ago. It was a board I built, I think, almost a year and a half ago. It was a North Shore board. And the customer wanted a lot of stringers. He wanted basically 2 inches worth of stringers in a laminated P-band. And it was extremely heavy, and I tried to talk him out of it, but that's what he wanted. So I built it. And the board came out, it was a 9-foot big wave gun for Sunset Beach, and it came out to about 29 pounds.
Oh my God.
Which was unacceptable. So, I mean, he took the board and he actually rode it a few times. He said it went pretty good in some of the outer reef, but he's a smaller guy. He's very fit and very good surfer.
I guess so.
But just too much, you know, and I have other customers that will, you know, especially these days where you have all this data, so to speak. You have the volume of a board, and you have the liters, and you have all this junk. As far as I'm concerned, it's a tool. Don't get me wrong on that, but it's more important, and especially in my generation of shapers, is we've been making custom surfboards for so long, and when a customer's honest with us as far as their ability, we can build them a board almost 100% of the time that's going to be just about perfect for them. If not only that, but may exceed their expectations. Yeah, even better than they had imagined.
That's amazing.
And that is really satisfying.
Yeah. let's say, as long as the surfboards are not that heavy, that like the one you were telling us about, then it's okay, because then you need to be really fit to bring that board around. Actually, it's quite an exercise even to carry it.
I'm too old to carry a board like that myself, and we have regulations where you can't park at the beach right now.
Yeah.
So if you had to carry a board like that, you would be exhausted before you even got in the water.
Maybe this is what he wanted. No, I'm joking.
Maybe.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tell us about your future plans. Are you planning like something particular? Are you working on some special projects currently that you can share with us?
Yeah, I always have some different things that I'm doing. As I said, I don't like things to stay static and just do the same board time after time. So again, the boards I'm specializing in are the Twinsers, which is a twin fin that has a smaller front canard fin, which directs the water onto the fins. Very efficient, more efficient than a twin fin, more versatile. And I'm working on all kinds of new stuff for that.
Okay.
So that really is my focus right now. And I have a lot of other things that would take us days to talk about, but that's that's the board. If people look on my Instagram site, that's what they're going to see the most of. And I've always loved the colors from the mid 70s into the 80s, and I embrace that. Anything that's neon or bright. I do a lot of stuff like that. Of course, I do a lot of tints, a lot of channel bottoms. That's something that I've been doing for years and years. And they still sell really well and they work great.
Amazing.
So those are my main areas of focus. And it is custom. I don't sell my boards in big surf shops at all over here. But I've got a pretty big clientele, a lot of people in the continental United States, Hawaii, bit in Europe, and in Japan.
I guess after so many years of career, like your name is also something that maybe fathers or grandfathers, they come back to you and they say, like, please shape a board for my son or grandson, right? It becomes...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A family relationship,
yeah,
right?
Yes, you go through the family generations, and that's been, you could break it down to grandchild and son, and then the parent. So I've also done things like that.
It's
so
it's
so rewarding.
Powerful.
It really is.
It's so powerful when it happens. I guess is like it makes your day, right? Like a grandfather bringing a grandson to you. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. We're going to finish our interview with a short Q&A session, so please answer the first thing that comes up to your mind, okay?
Okay.
The best surfboard that you ever ridden?
Best surfboard I've ever ridden. I got about 20 of them. But that being said, a good question. I'm trying to narrow it down. My favorite board that I recently have been riding is one of my Rocket Fish channel bottom Twinsers. I've had boards from various shapers through the years. Rusty Preisendorfer in the early 80s made me boards that were really good. A local guy here in town, David Craig, he's a San Diego shaper. He's very unknown, but makes great surfboards, and he made me a lot of good boards. So I'd have to put it on that. I've always had a lot of boards, so I've gone through quite a few. And generally, the best ones are the ones that don't last very long. You just want to ride them every day.
Yeah. The best shaper of all time, in your opinion, like your reference, if you want to say.
There's a lot of. Well, I'll tell you. There's a shaper. He shaped my boards in the 70s at Infinity Surfboards. His name's Max McDonald.
Yeah.
And he's very underappreciated. He left Infinity and went on to be a hand shaper at Channel Islands and was one of their lead shapers. And along with him, Wayne Rich, who's a very good friend of mine. He also worked at Channel Islands. He was originally from the Los Angeles South Bay area. Excellent craftsman. I would put him in my top three guys that I could think of. And as far as surfboards that to me are a piece of art, functional art, are Skip Fry's. He's 78 years old, and I'm looking at him right now outside. He's getting his blanks out of the truck, and he still surfs, when it's good, which is, 3 to 5 days a week here, and is an incredible shaper for what he builds. He builds fishes and gliders and that type of stuff, and no one can touch him. There are guys that try to copy him or emulate him, and they're not even close.
I agree with you.
I would say, put it this way, he would be the Ferrari of surfboards.
Yeah.
I think you could relate to that.
I completely agree with you.
Hand-built surfboards, hand-built cars.
Good. So please wave hello from our side next time you see him.
Yeah.
Cool. A young shaper that you think really deserves to be in every surfboard collection?
That one's easy. Ryan Birch.
Okay.
Ryan Birch from North County. He is a great surfer. He was a pro level shortboarder, and he decided to go down a different path and learned how to shape. And he's very good and makes really unique surfboards. He's known for doing asymmetricals and little side cut fishes. But yeah, he's very impressive.
Your favorite surf spot?
My favorite surf spot in the world would be Cloudbreak in Fiji.
Your favorite surfer or the best surfer of all time?
I'm going to date myself, and I'm going to say it was Max McDonald. Really good style, really good surfer. There's plenty of guys. It's such an open question. You could name people all the way through the years. But I mean, if I'm going to say, in my mind, and in my heart, it's him.
And the last question is a little bit unusual, has nothing to do with surf, but we want to know your best relationship advice.
Well, I've been married going on 36 years.
So you can give us a hell of advice, It's like 36 years.
Yeah, maybe try to behave yourself and bite your lip before you speak.
Cool. Then if you bite it too much, it's gonna be very visible, right?
Yeah, but sometimes it comes to that.
Yeah. Cool. Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Stu, for being on the show with us today, and I look forward to talk to you very soon. I really appreciate.
Great. Thank you very much, Alessandro. Have a great day, and again, thank you for having me on. And best wishes to everybody around the world. Stay safe and go surfing.
Yes, we will. Thanks a lot. Hi, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed our today's episode. If you want to know more about us, please follow www.thetempleofsurf.com and all our social media. Mahalo!